Hi guys, Freddy here. Welcome back to another Retro RPG. And at the end of another week, the end of another poll, we've got a clear winner with Acute Paranoia. Now as usual, I'll be back at the end of the video with some updates to the poll and some other channel related stuff, and I hope to see you there. So this is Acute Paranoia. Now this came out in 1986 and is the first source book for Paranoia, which had come out a couple of years previously. There'd been a bunch of adventures, but there had been no real rule expansions and expansions of the setting beyond adventures. Now, Paranoia, for anybody who isn't aware, is a comedy role-playing game set in a nuclear bunker-type facility under the ground after a nuclear war. The whole society is run by a computer, which is programmed with 1950s, 1960s level programming that it must protect the people inside from the commies. Unfortunately, the computer was damaged during the war and has no idea what commies are. It makes things up for itself. The other thing is it's designed to clone the inhabitants and keep them genetically pure, but radiation has already caused damage, and everybody in the Alpha Complex is a mutant, which the computer wants to exterminate. So everybody's covering things up. They're members of secret societies, they're mutants, and there's this computer which is out to destroy things which it doesn't know what it is. So there's a lot of paranoia, lots of people with Jobsworth complexes where they will do exactly as they're told. And that's where the comedy comes up, as you run into people who don't understand the situations properly, people who are just sticking to the rules to avoid being put down by the computer, and just chaos. And it is known for Paranoia adventures to never get past the briefing, because people will just kill each other and cause chaos. So Paranoia's a whole load of fun, but it is very chaotic. Anyway, let's have a look at the back cover. Buy Acute Paranoia because it will show you why even Sigmund Freud, who has nothing to do with this book, might think twice about psychoanalysis if he lived in Alpha Complex, and why Isaac Asimov, who has no idea we are using his name, might reconsider the laws of robotics if he saw how they work in Alpha Complex, and why Jim Morrison, who is dead and therefore can't complain about our use of his name, might have turned to gospel music if he knew what rock and roll would be used for in the darkly humorous future, and why William Faulkner, Steve Reich, and Freeman Dyson will probably never play Paranoia in a million years, though we really admire their work and thought they deserved a mention. If names of all these famous people, the use of which should in no way be construed as an endorsement, implicit or explicit, appear on the back cover of Acute Paranoia, how can you bear to be without a copy? Sign up for weirdness, loud music, and the ever-gentle remonstrations of the computer today. Gasp, what awesome monuments to the indomitable human spirit are herein contained? A special hyper-nifty 8-page pullout with rules for robot player characters, and cleared for red levels no less. Another special hyper-nifty 8-page pullout chock full of Game Master and player goodies, including pre-generated bot PCs. Endlessly useful and witty rules covering psychological destruction testing and new secret societies, and lots of invigorating soul-crushing adventures. 80 pages full of stuff. So, opening up. West End Games at this point had lovely artwork, and it had an amazing staff. So, biographical sketches and criminal records of the authors. So we've got Ken Ralston, who did much of the work on Paranoia, absolutely fantastic writer. Eric Wujcik, Wujcik, I think it's pronounced. I could be well wrong. Designer and genius behind Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Stephen Mora, Steve Gilbert, Peter Corliss, Greg Kostikan, who is one of my heroes of role-playing, Dennis Suster, Alan Varney and Warren Spector, Dan Poulter, Doug Kaufman, John M. Ford, Curtis Smith, Stephen Crane, and Kevin Wilkins. So many brilliant people involved in the production of this. So we kick off with Sanity Tests. So obviously in the paranoid society of Alpha Complex, the computer will be nervous about people going insane, so it will want to perform sanity tests. So it has various tests that the computer might perform on the players to check whether they are going insane. Now, word association, personality tests, more personality tests, cognitive skills. So please answer yes or no to the following questions. I have had very strange experiences. I have periods where I can't remember what I was doing. I have used drugs excessively. The word association. Note that merely knowing some of these terms mean is treason. So knowing what a cat or a horse is in the closed environment of alpha complex would be terms for being put down. So the player's answer to most word association would be, I don't know. And the results of the sanity tests and what's going to happen is just, of course, a random table. Roll some dice, see what happens. Better living through chemistry, where we have various drugs and the side effects of them, which the computer, of course, will assign to players for use. They've got new secret societies. Now, this is one of my favourite bits, because these are very well thought out. We've got the Earth Mothers. Because everybody in Alpha Complex is a clone, you've got various ones who want to start families. We've got the Femme Fatales, who want women to be in positions of power. My absolute favourite, the International Workers of the World. Well, apparently it was a secret society which died out. However, the computer heard about it, so started sending agents to investigate. And now the secret society is completely consisting of agents investigating what's going on and reporting on one another. We've got the groupies, the Knights of the Circular Object, people who obviously believe in sort of King Arthur. The Foundation, who believe in putting stuff away, hoarding technology. The Sibling Rivals, weird secret society in where the players have clones, and when you are killed, the clone gets activated. In the world of Paranoia, though, while you get promoted up to a position of influence, they keep working away in the food vats. They're slaving away. Well, Sibling Rivals is a secret society where one or more of your clones is actually seeking to kill you so they can take your place. National Fantasy Fan Foundation, Moo, eugenicists who want to incorporate more mutations, and the Trekkies, so Star Trek fans, who wander around putting plastic ears on and saying, live long and prosper. Then we're on to adventures. Now, I don't like to cover too much of these, but I can briefly go over it. Me and My Shadow Mark IV, in which the players are assigned to protect a new battle robot. However, as we can see in these pictures, the battle robot is the size of like a battleship compared to the size of the troubleshooters you can see marked down there, or compared against it there. There is one vehicle, Mark IV, one 75-meter long, 25-meter wide, 40,000-ton vehicle, mounted on 6 monstrous treads and bristling with dual-mount vapor guns, grenade launchers, rapid-fire tac nuke cannons, and one huge mega gun. So your group of incompetent and blundering around troubleshooters are assigned to protect this absolutely massive, dangerous battle robot. And of course, the battle robot is being targeted for destruction by commies. Now, because they work from the computer's records, while they might believe themselves to be commies, they have no idea what communism actually is. They know they should wear big furry hats and the hammer and sickle, but they have no idea what's going on. You can see something falls off the robot is one of the chapters. So what are they going to do about it? Because it's surely treason if they've managed to damage it. Get attacked by communists on skateboards with bombs. Just craziness and total idiocy. We've got the player character robots here and the playing robots pull-out section, which advises you how to talk like a robot. Asimov's newly revised laws. With the number one law, the robot may not, through action or inaction, allow the computer to come to harm. The robot must obey any order from the computer. How to generate a robot PC. What kind of peripherals they've got, so feet, hands, input devices. output devices, other things, weapons where they're built in. Bigger is better, so they can be extremely large. Different software and drawbacks. Just making a odd robot character to fit into the paranoia world. Carrying on through, we've got the flowchart with the Mark IV decision-making process. Mark IV menaced by a well-disciplined band of fanatical commies. Tiny little specks against this giant robot. We've got Botbusters, a mini-adventure involving being the player character robots. Warriors of the Night Cycle, where the players have to go up against ninjas, or people who have basic ideas of what ninjas are. Your Gymbots. The harder they clone, so rebellious biker clones. And then we've got Code 7 adventures. Now these are very short scenarios. Just a little setup and a bit of game for you. Because paranoia, as I said, can often end in the briefing. So while it's great to have a 70-80 page long adventure with lots of great jokes in it, most of your sessions are going to end fairly quickly. So they just give you some very brief adventures ideas to get you in there and get some play happening. And paranoia gameplay will be emergent anyway, as they turn on each other and attempt to destroy each other. So we've got things like The Second Coming, The Plumber's Helper, Miami Laser, because of course Miami Vice was around this time, so you get them dressing in cool suits, because for some reason some part of Alpha Complex now believes it's Miami Beach. Paranoid Clones in Savory Vulture Stew. And we've got Outlandish, which ends up with a gunfight between the players and a bunch of people sent to kill them. And that's it. We get a whole bunch of adventures, we get some brief Code 7s, and some rules. And it's an excellent source book. Paranoia is absolutely hilarious, and this really keeps the tone of it going. So that was Acute Paranoia, and that won with some 33% of the vote. But it was only narrowly ahead of the Warhammer Companion, which came in at 27% of the vote. You see, through the week, Warhammer Companion was gaining votes, until last night when I was digging out the books to read up in preparation for making the video today. I wasn't sure that Acute Paranoia was going to win. It was that close, and Warhammer Companion was coming on that well, that I was worried that I was going to read the wrong book and have to study extra hard this morning. But the Acute Paranoia book rallied overnight and ended up winning by a clear 6% ahead of the Warhammer Companion. So it's excellent to have covered that. Now, to replace it in the poll, I have swapped it out for the High Adventure Role-Playing System, HARP, from Iron Crown Enterprises. ICE. Lots of acronyms in there. Now, that came out in 2003, and it's good to have a few interesting older games in here. So we've got HARP, we've got Sovereign Stone, we've got the Warhammer Companion, we've got the Inquisitor's Handbook, and the Dark Text Sourcebook. Any of which I'd love to cover, but I'd especially like to look through HARP or Sovereign Stone. So let's see how they go. Other channel-related stuff, well, this is the last video I'm recording for the year. It'll be one of my last ones coming out. I believe there'll be The Path to a New Edition coming out on the Friday, New Year's Eve. But this will be coming out between Christmas and New Year, hence me still having my Christmas decorations up. So, let me wish you a Happy New Year. You just have a good one when it comes. Now, for me, 2021 wasn't a great year. There were a few things that went on in the family. There was a death in the family, and I spent my 50th birthday having to travel by myself the length of the country to a funeral, which wasn't fun. Wasn't how I'd planned out my 50th birthday. But my family made it a good one nevertheless. I'm very lucky, no matter all of the disasters we've had this year, with illnesses, with deaths. Generally it wouldn't be considered a good year, but the family's rallied round, and I'm very lucky to have a good family. So all I can hope for is that 2022 is a better year. I hope it's going to be a wonderful one for you, and I hope to see you then. So, as always, you look after yourselves, and I'll catch you later. Bye now.